Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today, on this Christmas Day, I am back with a very special Total War Warhammer 2 online battle submitted by one of you. We're going to be taking a look at the Empire facing off against the Vampire Counts. So, yeah, first of all, just want to wish you guys a very, very Merry Christmas. Even for those of you who don't celebrate it, I still, wish you peace and joy and all the sort of spirit of Christmas things that come along with the season. It's been an awesome year, and I'll have a bit more around New Year's, but I just want to say thank you all for your support. It's an awesome community that we've got here. Honestly, one of the best gaming communities out there, in my opinion, and you guys are a huge part of that, so thank you once again for helping make this year one of the best of my life. No joke. So in terms of the army here, we've got an Archlector leading the way, Tempelhof LUMINARK with the Hammer of Witches. We've also got Royal Altdorf Ripfights, some Reichsguard with the Zintler's Reichsguard, front line of Spearmen with shields, and yeah, Light Wizard as well. So double net is the idea here. We've got the net on the Tempelhof and the net on the Light Wizard. He's also got Light of Battle for that area of effect Unbreakable, going to be very strong versus the Undead, because of course they have lots of fear and terror, that army-wide fear and lots of terror-causing units. For the Undead, we've got two Terror guys, the Red Duke up in the air, front line of zombies, couple Skeleton Spears, couple Crypt Ghouls with some Warriors, and Sternsmen in the back with two Corpse Carts, neither of which have the Unholy Lodestone, so these are essentially just Distraction Corpse Carts, only about 250 points, very cheap. Got a couple Skeleton Spears bringing up the back line, so yeah, very decent builds, and the Christmas lights here of the Tempelhof LUMINARK going to be very scary, obviously, for the Vampire Counts here. And how about the Tempelhof LUMINARK even got a nice Christmas color scheme here with like the green on the wood. We've got some gold and some red here, very thematic for the holidays. So yeah, so far the Hammer of Witches just firing into that Distraction Corpse cart. Honestly, that's a pretty good for the Vampire Counts player. Going to be definitely more advantageous for them. Meanwhile, the two Terrorgeists and the Red Duke kind of pushing over on the left flank. Yeah, so Empire player just kind of sitting tight for now, patiently using up his artillery. So far, the Tempelhof LUMINARK hasn't taken any shots here. It could just about one-shot these Corpse Carts. These Necromancers as well might be worth shooting at. It looks like they don't actually have the Forbidden Rod to give themselves more magic. They're just here for that Master of the Dead, so that area of effect regeneration. So yeah, it might be worth popping the Necromancers. The Corpse Carts are getting pretty low as well, but the Tempelhof LUMINARK so far just keeping all of its ammo in reserve. There are two Terror guys here, obviously, plus the Red Duke, so those are going to be much more high-value targets for the Tempelhof, and because it has relatively limited ammunition, only 12 ammo, you do have to kind of pick and choose your shots pretty carefully there, but it looks like the cannon now switching over onto the Terrorgeist. As long as the Terrorgeist is holding still, these cannons should have a pretty good time shooting. Let's see here. Is that swing and a miss? A little bit hard to see there in the distance, but it does look like the Terrorgeist dodges that shot, especially when they're kind of out towards the extreme end of the range. It can be hard to hit, but it looks like they did connect there. Meanwhile, mainline engagement getting underway. Skeletons trying to compromise the flanks here. Zombies getting in to fight in the front line, and we've also got plenty of Crypt Ghouls running in as well. And yeah, you can see this unit of Crypt Ghoul is going to shoot through this little gap here, but very well played by the Empire player. He's got these Reichsguard on station, just going to immediately charge in and wreck these Crypt Ghouls. Crypt Ghouls are a very light unit, and they will get absolutely shredded by a heavy cavalry charge like that. You can see they lost almost half their HP there. Pretty rough stuff. Tempelhof still hasn't popped a single shot, just very patiently waiting to use up its ammo here. Reichsguard helping to secure the flanks, cycle charging very nicely against Skeleton Spears, although yeah, Skeleton Spears do have anti-large, obviously, but just their pitiful combat stats and light armor means that the Reichsguard will be able to do okay as long as they cycle charge there. Same thing out on this other flank here. Reichsguard just cycle charging Skeleton Spears, and the Silver Bullets able to fire in here a little bit. Looks like a 360 no-scope from the LUMINARK. Where is it going to be shooting? Looks like it's going to pop the Red Duke, who is currently netted, so this should be a solid contact there. And yeah, wow, the Scorch as well coming from the Light Wizard, so a ton of damage on the Red Duke here. Just about finishes him off, about 1,000 HP there. A nice volley from the silver bullets brings him just below 1,000 HP, but he is stabilizing with that scroll of shielding, Invocation of Nehek. He's also standing close by this necromancer, so he will be getting that effect as well. But the silver bullets just unloading here. The Red Duke taking a ton of damage. Very favorable situation for the Empire. Likewise, this Terrorgeist came down and got netted, and then the Royal Altar Fights are going to get in here and start tearing it to shreds. So far so good for the Empire. Unfortunately, the Hammer of Witches did get compromised, though. This flank just collapsing a little bit here. These Skeleton Spears able to just force through and get on there. But swing and a miss there on the Red Duke. That probably would have finished him off if that shot had connected. So very lucky for the Vampire Counts player to have avoided that particular shot there. But it looks like the Tempelhof now going to turn and danger close fire in at this particular Terrorgeist here that's fighting the Royal Altar of Griffites. Maybe. Unfortunately, this is one of the big issues with static infantry skirmishers like the Silver Bullets in this particular matchup. It's super easy for the Vampire Counts to compromise them. You can see they are being interrupted in melee by Crypt Ghouls. The Terrorgeist is in here as well. Looks like we're going to get zombie summons to make sure they stay bogged down. So yeah, net goes down on the Terrorgeist, but those Silver Bullets are pretty much done for. Meanwhile, Zintless Reichsguard helping to collapse more of the front line. The Graveguard are going to do quite well, obviously, but the rest of the Vampire Counts frontline units crumbling away. The Empire actually doing quite well there. So the Tempelhof Luminark is still secure for the moment. Doesn't have the best line of sight, but trying to shoot at the more stationary targets to make sure you maximize on the accuracy there. But it does look like the Red Duke going to potentially try and drop down in here as well. Tempelhof Luminark net dropped there, and it's going to go ahead and pull away. Meanwhile, the Light Wizard going to go ahead and put Light of Battle over here. Yep. Looks like an overcast Light of Battle, making all these troops unbreakable. Unfortunately, didn't quite get it on time for the Hammer of Witches to stay in, but these Spearmen will stay in fight. Zintler's Reichsguard are also unbreakable as well. And yeah, you can see the Tempelhof Luminark not exactly sure what it wants to shoot at, but it looks like it's going to go after this Terrorgeist here. Oh, point blank in the face. Does a ton of damage there, but Tempelhof Luminark is in a little bit of a dangerous position here. You can see the Red Duke is going to be also trying to get in here. Looks like a net coming down from the Light Wizard to net him down. Potion of Strength had been popped there, so a little bit unfortunate for the Vampire Counts player that he kind of wasted that, but still, they're going to be netted right above the Tempelhof Luminark, so still kind of scary. That being said, the Terrorgeist is being dragged down by the Archlector and the Bright Wizard here. We still got plenty of Reichsguard as well. Empire Infantry starting to get ground down, though, by the Graveguard and the regeneration and everything. Just don't have the sustainability necessarily. Swing and a miss there. I'm not sure. Must have been shooting at the Red Duke, but that's pretty rough. Tempelhof's used up about half of its ammo and taken about half HP damage as well, so kind of a bit of a mixed bag, but looks like the Zintless Reichsguard going to be coming back to secure and try and pin the Red Duke in here. Another Light of Battle going down, keeping those Royal Altar Fights fighting. They're able to keep this entire pocket bogged down, and then the charge from those Reichsguard will be able to crumple away the rest of those units. So a very nice use there of the Light of Battle to help secure, and another swing and a miss, unfortunately, from that Luminark doing that crazy 360 move. I really wish that they would patch it so it wouldn't do that, but nonetheless, that's what, 3 shots I've counted so far that have missed, so that's pretty rough stuff. One of the issues with the Luminark is because it's so expensive, if you whiff any shots, it's going to be really, really bad, but the Silver Bullets are able to re-secure here. Go ahead and start firing at the Red Duke. He is going to try and summon some zombies, it looks like, on top of them, but that other shot, I think that just popped the Terrorgeist in the teeth. I'm not 100% sure, but the Reichsguard do go ahead and dive in. Looks like they're going to be crumbling the Terrorgeist. And yeah, those Silver Bullets right at the edge of the map, going to get caught up by zombies and probably routed off, so rough stuff overall, but it does look like another net of Ammontok there from the Tempelhof Luminark. Going to be freezing that Terrorgeist in place, so that's about down. Corpse Cart and some Graveguards still here. We've got a Necromancer still here as well. Unfortunately, the Zintler's Reichsguard are getting routed off, but the Royal Altar Griffites still relatively healthy as well. So with 2 Terrorgeists down, yep, I believe 2 Terrorgeists are down. So at this point, it's just the Red Duke in terms of high-value targets. And it looks like again, the Luminark. Oh, I'm not sure if that actually shot the missile there or where that went off to, but that sort of 360 maneuver there is a little bit painful, but nonetheless, Red Duke does get caught up by Royal Altar Griffites here, as well as the Archlector. With the buffs, it doesn't look like the buffs are actually active, but they will be able to do quite a bit of damage, and the Red Duke does crumble. So Looking pretty good for the Empire, all things considered, although there are still a full group of Stearnsmen here that have taken basically no damage at all. If we take a look at their healing cap, they've taken, yeah, maybe 600 damage in total over the entire course of the battle, so that's pretty rough. This Corpse Cart's definitely going to get finished off here, maybe? Yep. Corpse Cart gets finished off, which, you know, at least gets rid of that Vigor Mortis, but at this point, the two Necromancers are both still alive, one here, and one's way out here over on the side, so they are going to be helping to stabilize the leadership for the Vampire Counts. You can see the Templehof LUMINARK going to be firing directly into this blob, trying to shoot at the Stearnsman, I would imagine, but let's see. Didn't actually do too much there. Took a nice chunk out of the side, but not the best shot in the world. That being said, Archlector is going to go ahead and try and get his hands on the Necromancer here. Again, if he can finish him off, that probably will lead to leadership losses for the Vampire Counts, but as it is right now, the Graveguard perfectly happy in terms of their leadership. If we go ahead and take a look right here, still 48 there, and the Stearnsman also perfectly happy as well at 63 leadership. Yeah, no issues whatsoever, so that's why the balance of power is still so close at this point. That LUMINARK shot actually did some pretty solid damage, and actually I think just about finished off that Necromancer there. He's now currently crumbling, so decent shot, but there's only one more for that LUMINARK. So let's see, is he going to pop it into this blob? Looks like he's actually targeting the Stearnsman with that, so we'll see if this shot's effective. Yeah, it was pretty decent. Did some decent damage, but personally I would have probably saved that last shot and tried to snipe out this Necromancer here, because again, if you get rid of the last leadership unit for the Vampire Counts, then they're going to have leadership issues, but at this point it's more or less just going to be a grind out, so we'll go ahead and pop it into fast forward. As you can see, the Templehof LUMINARK now acting as a chariot. Doesn't do a whole lot of impact damage, but it can do a little bit potentially, but yeah, at this point, Archlector's getting pretty low. The Light Wizard's still relatively healthy, but unfortunately that second Necromancer is still very, very healthy, and all these Graveguard here going to be very tough to take down. We'll see. If the Empire player really takes good advantage of that Grand Soulfire, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but maybe that could help wear down over time if he can maybe grab this Necromancer and finish him off, but Necromancer's doing a really good job staying saturated inside of this big blob here, so you can see the Archlector really just aggressively trying to get in there, but unfortunately it's not quite going to be enough to balance power, ever so slowly grinding into the Vampire Count's favor. You can see the Templehof LUMINARK did rally momentarily, but then shattered, so that's gone. We do have some Spearmen here coming back from route, but unfortunately the Archlector routes, and that is going to lead to critical army losses for the Empire. So unfortunately a defeat for the Empire, victory for the Vampire Counts player, but a very epic battle, very much down to the wire, and had a couple of those Templehof shots that missed connected. I think that easily the Empire player could have pulled this one out. But a very, very good battle nonetheless. You can see all across the front line there, Spearmen with shields doing quite well. 223 kills on those Reiksguard, 161 on these. Only 77 kills for the LUMINARK, but of course it helped snipe out both Terrorgeist and the Red Duke, so that was pretty effective. In the last sort of phase of that battle there, again, if he had maybe managed to pop that Necromancer rather than using the last shot on the Stearnsman, maybe could have led to leadership issues, but the Stearnsmen were still so healthy. I think it was going to be tough to win regardless in that late game, but also Royalta Frithite's carrying some heavy weight as well. 66 kills on the Archlector himself, not bad at all, considering he doesn't have any kind of damage abilities or anything. The Red Duke definitely got gatted pretty hard there, but able to stabilize and bring things back in the end. Zombies doing what zombies do, which is just die. But Crypt Ghouls, the one that got charged, got shut down pretty hard. The other one managed to rack up 92 kills. Of course, the Stearnsmen and the Graveguard moving in, you know, after the Empire troops have been worn down, after they're tired, and just cleaning them up in the late game there. Very, very effective. Corpse Carts, I really like the double distraction Corpse Cart, not even bringing the Balefire or the Unholy Lodestone, just the cheapest possible one to really make your opponent think that he's getting good value shooting at them when really they're only 250 points. But yeah, Terrorgeist also were a little bit of a rough pick, but ended up being okay at the end of the day. So very fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Yeah, Merry Christmas once again. Thanks you all for your support, and if you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you next time.